Just another beautiful day in Colorado. Today we're going to be trying to get one last winter camping trip in here at Decker's. Whenever we came out here in the middle of winter, there was nobody else camping here, but today it seems like most of the campsites are reserved. Trying to get a campsite here in the summer can be extremely challenging, and there's also a lot of people that fish here in the summer too, since it's only about an hour away from Colorado Springs. So this will probably be the last trip that we go on to a place like this before we start backpacking in the mountains in the middle of summer. But today we're going to have a bit of a competition between an angler and a fly fisherman. So I'm going to be using spinners. I really like spinners for rivers because they kind of keep themselves up off the bottom as opposed to ordinary spoons. This section of the river can also be extremely difficult to fish on. The only time I've ever caught a fish out of here is using flies. A lightweight or ultra-light spinning rod is ideal for targeting trout in the mountain rivers. A 6 to 7 foot rod with a fast action gives you enough flexibility to cast light lures but still provides the backbone to handle bigger fish. Pair that with a 1,000 to 2,500 size spinning reel spooled with 6 to 10 pound braided line, and you've got yourself a setup that offers both finesse and power. Braided line is an excellent choice for mountain rivers because of its thin diameter and sensitivity. It allows you to feel every little nibble, bump, or change in current, which is crucial when targeting wary trout in fast-moving water. However, since braid is highly visible, a fluorocarbon leader is essential. Mountain rivers are often crystal clear, and trout are notoriously line-shy. A 2 to 4 foot fluorocarbon leader, 4 to 8 pound test depending on the size of the trout, helps keep your presentation natural while still giving you the sensitivity of braided line. What I have on mine is 4 pound test. Fluorocarbon is nearly invisible underwater and has some abrasion resistance, which is important when fishing around rocks and logs. To connect your braid to the fluorocarbon, the double uni knot or the FG knot works well. These knots hold strong and allow for smooth casting through the guides. When fishing for trout in mountain rivers, you'll want to focus on areas where fish are likely to hold, behind rocks, in deep pools, and along current streams. Cast slightly upstream and let your lure drift naturally with the flow. The key is to keep a tight line while allowing for a natural presentation. Some of the best lures for this setup include inline spinners. These work great in fast-moving water, mimicking small bait fish or insects, as well as small crankbaits, which are minnow-style lures like Rapala countdowns are excellent for enticing aggressive trout, and then soft plastics on a jig head, as well as spoons. Live bait like worms or minnows can also be highly effective when drifted naturally under a float or bounced along the bottom. But there's a few rivers in this area that don't allow for the use of bait. Or they do, but it's like one section of the river allows bait and the other section of the river does not allow bait. If you love the outdoors, especially fishing, then Decker's, Colorado is a place that should be on your radar. Nestled in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains about an hour southwest of Denver, Decker's isn't just a random dot on the map. It's one of the most legendary trout fishing destinations in the state. The combination of the South Platte River, breathtaking mountain scenery, and a laid-back small-town vibe makes it a special place that draws anglers, hikers, and outdoor enthusiasts from all over. The South Platte River runs right through Decker's, and this stretch of water is world famous for its trout fishing. The river here is a tailwater, meaning it flows from a dam, in this case Cheeseman Reservoir, which keeps the water cool and the trout happy year-round. These conditions allow fish to grow big, and it's not uncommon to see 20-inch plus rainbows and browns lurking in the clear currents. What makes Deckers special is its accessibility. Unlike some backcountry fishing spots that require miles of hiking, you can literally park your car, walk a few steps, and be casting into prime trout water. But don't be fooled, these fish are smart. The clear water and heavy fishing pressure make them selective. So whether you're fly fishing or using a spinning rod with a fluorocarbon leader, presentation is everything. While fishing is the big draw, Deckers isn't just about chasing trout. The surrounding area is packed with outdoor activities. Hikers and mountain bikers can explore the scenic trails winding through Pike National Forest, and if you're into camping, there are plenty of spots to pitch a tent and enjoy the peaceful mountain setting. The South Platte River is also a favorite for kayakers and rafters, especially in the spring when snowmelt swells the river. Even if you're not into water sports, just sitting by the river, soaking in the views, and watching bald eagles soar overhead is an experience in itself. Deckers itself is more of a crossroads than a bustling town, but that's part of its charm. There's a small general store, a bait and tackle shop, and a few places to grab a bite. The locals are friendly, and it's the kind of place where people genuinely love talking about the river, fishing conditions, and their latest catch. It has the classic Colorado mountain town feel, laid back, scenic, and just remote enough to feel like an escape. One of the defining moments in Deckers' history was the Hayman Fire of 2002, one of the largest wildfires in Colorado history. It scorched massive areas of forest around the town, leaving behind a landscape that's still recovering. While the fire changed the scenery, nature has a way of bouncing back. Today you can see new growth, and the river remains as productive as ever. Deckers is significant not just because of its world-class fishing, but because it represents everything that's great about Colorado. Wild rivers, stunning landscapes, and a deep connection to nature. Whether you're a hardcore angler looking to land a trophy trout, or just someone who wants to spend a quiet day by the river, it's the kind of place that stays with you long after you leave. Brown trout are one of the most sought-after freshwater game fish, known for their intelligence, aggression, and wariness. Fly fishing is often seen as the gold standard for catching them, but using a spinning rod with inline spinners can be just as, if not more, effective in certain situations. While both techniques have their place, spinning gear offers several key advantages, including ease of use, versatility, and the ability to cover more water more efficiently. Fly fishing has a steep learning curve. Casting a fly rod requires precise techniques, and successfully presenting an artificial fly to brown trout takes time and practice. On the other hand, fishing with a spinning rod and a spinner is straightforward. Cast, retrieve, and repeat. This makes it a great option for beginners or those who want to catch fish without spending hours perfecting their casting. Even experienced anglers can appreciate the simplicity of spinning gear, especially when dealing with tough conditions like wind, tight casting spots, or deep water where getting a fly down effectively is a challenge. Brown trout are known for holding in different types of water, deep pools, undercut banks, and fast-moving runs. With a spinning rod and a well-chosen spinner, an angler can cover more water quickly. Spinners allow for long casts, meaning you can reach fish that may be out of range for a fly rod. In contrast, fly fishing often requires short, precise presentations, and moving upstream to cast effectively can be time-consuming. While fly anglers may need to wade and position themselves carefully, a spinning setup allows an angler to fish effectively from shore or cast into areas that are difficult to reach with a fly. Spinners are designed to elicit reaction strikes from trout. The combination of flash vibration and movement can trigger aggressive fish to bite, even if they aren't actively feeding. Unlike fly fishing, which often relies on mimicking insects or small prey naturally, spinners tap into a trout's instinct to chase and attack. This is especially effective in stained water or during times when trout are feeding on minnows rather than insects. When a brown trout is lurking in a deep pool or under a log, a well-placed spinner can get its attention in ways that dry fly or nymph might not. So this is the moment I've been waiting for. I finally caught a decent-sized brown. So this puts me ahead in the competition by one fish. Fly fishing is also heavily dependent on insect hatches, water clarity, and trout feeding patterns. If there's no hatch or the trout aren't rising, a fly angler has to switch techniques, often requiring different fly patterns, leader adjustments, or sinking lines. Spinners, however, work in almost all conditions, whether it's bright sunny day or overcast with high water. A spinner's movement and flash make it effective year-round. Additionally, spinners can be used in a variety of water types. They work just as well in deep, slow pools as they do in fast-moving riffles, whereas fly fishing often requires a significant gear change to adjust to different types of water. While fly fishing is an art form that many anglers enjoy mastering, using a spinning rod with spinners offers a highly effective, user-friendly, and versatile way to catch brown trout. Spinners cover more water, trigger aggressive strikes, and perform well in various conditions without the technical challenges of fly fishing. So CPW stopped by and did a license check, and my fishing partner is getting fined $130 because he did not have a valid fishing license. So in Colorado, almost everyone over the age of 16 needs a fishing license. Kids under 16 can fish for free, which makes it a great activity for families. However, even if you're just casting a line for fun or practicing catch and release, you still need a license if you're 16 or older. Getting a fishing license in Colorado is pretty straightforward. You can buy one online through Colorado Parks and Wildlife, at a CPW office, or at various sporting goods stores and retailers across the state. Licenses are available for different time frames, including annual licenses, which are valid from March 1st to March 31st of the following year, 1-day or 5-day licenses for short-term fishing trips, and combination licenses that include small game hunting. I'm going to go drive farther downstream and test my luck there, see if I get any bites. So one important thing to know is that when you buy a fishing license, you also have to purchase a habitat stamp. If you're between 18 and 64 years old, this small extra fee helps fund conservation efforts in the state. The good news, you only have to buy one per year, no matter how many licenses you get. Colorado offers different pricing for residents and non-residents. If you've lived in Colorado for at least 6 months and have proof of residency, like a driver's license, you qualify for the cheaper resident rates. Non-residents, including out-of-state visitors, have to pay more, but they could still buy short-term or annual licenses, depending on how long they plan to fish. Colorado offers discounted or even free fishing plans to some groups. Seniors 65 and older can get a low-cost annual license, and disabled veterans or residents with disabilities may qualify for free or reduced-price licenses. There are also special permits for groups like educational programs or events. So yesterday, whenever I came back, I ended up running over my old fishing pole, so I ended up driving all the way back to Woodland Park to buy a new fishing pole and some more line and spinners. So now that I got that out of the way, we're finally cooking breakfast. We didn't eat any dinner last night because I came back to the campsite so late. But due to the fine and me running over my fishing pole, we can't continue this contest. But I did catch a very large brown trout, And right here is another one that I found. He was floating belly up, so I snagged a hook through his mouth and dragged him in, and it turns out that he is actually still alive. I did finally catch fish at Decker's though, so I'll see you guys next time.